Star Spangled My Banner. It's Vlogaday 813. Good morning. It's Sunday, and it is a dreary Sunday. This is actually a perfect Sunday to stay inside, like read a book or something. But I already told Jake and Jake that I would meet them for a falafel today. So Jake and Jake, you met Jake running. The other Jake you haven't met yet, but he's here doing the Cordon Bleu cooking school. Very interesting guy from New York. Met him the other night at the Peloton, and then just kind of went out for drinks and whatever else. So I told these guys about my favorite falafel vendor in the Bastille market. I don't know, I was craving one after the run that Jake and I went on, and I know the timing wasn't right, but we're gonna go get a falafel now. I don't know, maybe check out a new coffee shop, and then, I don't know, maybe just go straight back to bed. This is perfect bed weather, and I could use it. Let's go. Here's the spot. This is a nice little spot. Feels very homey with the books everywhere. It's nice. Apparently it's like poetry focused, but the coffee was tasty. The cookie was really good. It's good to find. It's a very different style of cookie. It's kind of crumbly, like a sugar cookie, chocolate chip cookie. Not sure how to describe it, but very good. And Jake, the culinary student, very heavily approved of it. So one of the things we're talking about inside, because all of us are people that have moved abroad at one point or another to pursue dreams, or like given up careers to go to cooking school, or shifted from an extremely focused military career towards just moving overseas. Like there's a bunch of interesting stories inside. Is something I've talked about before, which is that in pursuing those things, often, especially if you're in a place where people aren't pursuing that, and you are, it can be very difficult to find support in the midst of that. And that's something that we could actually, there's a way of looking at it that we kind of got around to in there that I kind of want to touch on because it's kind of new to me too. It's good. I'm going to go finish my coffee. Is he already getting more pastries?
Yes.
It's the benefit of running like 10 miles a day is you can eat as many cookies and pastries as you want and stay rail thin. Guy's a monster. Get it. What are you doing? Well, that was a really lovely Sunday out. Good to hang out. Ran into a bunch of random friends along the way. Nice. Chat, chill. I'm gonna go home and chill a little bit more intensely now. For at least a little bit. At least I'm gonna try to. The Bastille Market, just in case you were wondering, is located just off the Bastille metro stop. I mean, it's or the Place de la Bastille, Bastille Square, Bastille, if you're not tracking that part. It's only open on Thursdays and Sundays until like 2 p.m. or so don't be late. We were pushing it. We weren't pushing it, but like we thought about going and getting coffee first, and that definitely would have been pushing it. So the thing that was interesting that we were talking about, and I never kind of put this together, but for those of you who are wanting to leave home, pursue maybe a creative career or just something non-traditional, you want a lifestyle that you're gonna try and carve out for yourself, and you know it's gonna be hard, you know it's gonna be difficult going into it. It only makes it more difficult when you start running into resistance from the people around you. And that's what happened to me a lot. Not everybody, like my parents were amazing. My parents have always been very, very supportive. My sister as well, like very supportive family, thankfully. But there were a lot of people around me who I considered very close friends that unintentionally were very, very resistant to my plans, my hopes, my dreams. And what I didn't really put together until today, I feel like, I mean, it's been there, but like what clicked was the idea that it's an undefined belief system. We all have a belief system about how the world should be, how life should be, And some of those belief systems are well defined. Some of them are written down, whether they're philosophies or religion or anything else that we know well, that we have maxims for, that we have certain belief systems I think that we're completely aware of. And then we have others that we're not. And I didn't think about it in those terms, but really that resistance, I think, comes not necessarily even from anybody being overtly threatened by your dreams, your desires, or realizing that they're opposing what you're doing, but because what you're doing goes against the grain of the belief system that they have, whether or not they're even fully aware of it. So then this belief system that you end up running into isn't, I mean, we know we can define it in some ways as far as like maybe people believe that you just need to get a job, settle down. Like there's kind of a path that's set out for us from birth to just kind of follow. And that's different depending on who's raising you, what culture you're in, whatever, but there's kind of the general status quo. And even in a culture like the United States where we really tend to idolize people who break away from the status quo, doesn't mean that it's easy. In fact, I feel like that almost makes it harder because we look at it and we think like, oh yeah, that's what I idealize or idolize or whatever the word that I'm looking for is. So many people will never actually go for it. And if they did, then it wouldn't be breaking the status quo. That would become the status quo. So it just kind of is like, if everybody's special, nobody's special, I guess, that kind of a thing. So then what I ran into, and this is what's particularly helpful for me now looking back and helping me understand why maybe this was such a struggle for some people around me. I had people that I considered very close that said some very hurtful things to me along the way, unintentionally, I'm sure, but that kind of, I think were trying to put me back in the box of their belief system. Basically saying you need to stay here. Like we're not all called to be in sexy places like Paris, or we can't all go off and do whatever we want. You should just go marry that nice girl over there. You should just get a job and work your way into a house and, put up your fence, get your 2.5 kids, have your dog, whatever it is. The way that I took that was really that people didn't see me the way that I saw myself. I saw myself as somebody who could do great things if given the right opportunities, if I worked hard enough, if I made the right connections, if I put myself to the task, that I could become something, right? Something. I could do something with my life, and I could follow my dreams, and I could have an experience and a life that was interesting, a story that was worth telling. But when people tried to put me back in that box and they told me, no, you need to give up on those dreams, like just do your thing. Because a lot of times I think what made it that much more painful was a lot of times these conversations came from when I was seeking help. I was seeking solace. I was looking to these people around me to say like, I'm trying so hard and it's not going anywhere right now. And this is a struggle. And I was hoping to get encouragement and help, mentorship, and instead I would get, well, maybe you should give up. Like, what makes you so special? What do you think you should succeed? Why don't you just stop and accept the same life that we are all working towards over here? And that, to me, I understand now, wasn't coming from a nefarious place, and maybe even be coming from a very caring place, that they wanted me to do something that was a little bit safer, that maybe they saw that the life that I could have, in their eyes, would have been a better or healthier life than the one that I was aiming for. Whatever it is, I don't want to doubt their intentions or that they really cared about me. I really think that they do care about me. But what I heard was, you're not good enough, you're not special, you're not unique, you're not going to make it, you're not going to make anything of yourself, give up and be miserable. And that's what I heard. Because that lifestyle would kill me. I've tried. I haven't tried it intentionally as in like I've tried to make it work, but I've lived that lifestyle while trying to get towards something else. And I know that I would go absolutely crazy and it would be horrible for me for so many reasons. So, and that's just me. That's fine. If that's the lifestyle that they want, that's perfectly fine. Like whatever lifestyle it is that you want, whatever it is you want from life, however you want to live it, is totally fine by you, but it wouldn't work for me. And I think that the disconnect came from this belief system that was not, like I said, well-defined or even a conscious belief system, but just an underlying current, both to the conversations that we were having, but also just kind of to the culture that we were living in. And so why it's beneficial for me now is that I can look at that and kind of hopefully let go of all the bitterness, but any of the bitterness or pain that I've carried with me from those conversations, just let it go and recognize that we're just going to have to be kind of in different spheres when it comes to those conversations. And hopefully it helps me to better communicate, better share what I'm thinking, why I'm doing what I'm doing, where it is that I'm going and why. And maybe that helps to improve my relationships on that side. And then on the other side, it's just a really interesting way of looking at it, because then it helps me to better understand the people in my life who disappointed me and take that disappointment down a notch. And I don't know, just recognize we're all just trying to make it in this life. We're all on the same team, even though we don't remember that a lot of the times. And if we can better understand each other, we can better love each other, and we can better help each other through life. And this is just one of those steps. For me, I don't know if you've had a similar experience or not, but that has been a very consistent experience of mine over the years. One that's gotten better as I've managed to get out of those circles and into places like Paris is much more open and supportive. I've shared before that my experience in Paris was one where I went from people looking at me like I was kind of a weirdo for trying to do YouTube and giving me the same kind of a pushback, like what makes you so special? Why would anybody want to watch you? To coming here and having friends here that were like super excited that I was a YouTuber and they wanted to tell their friends, and they bragged on me and they supported me and they showed up to things. And even though I was still super small on YouTube and like nobody was really watching, they didn't care. They weren't like, oh, you're not some superstar, blah, blah, blah. They were just like, oh my gosh, you're creative and you're working really hard and we really appreciate you. What can we do to help? Like, just that was the natural response here. And I would recommend highly, if you are in a place like I was in and you're struggling, one of the greatest things you can probably do for yourself is find a healthier place where there are people that will support you in the pursuits that you're after. I mean, Paris probably isn't even the best place. There are probably even better places in the world for what I'm doing, like for video making or for writing. There are definitely better places than Paris in the sense that like there are stronger existing communities, but here there's space and I think a good mixture of people to build something as well. And I'm really excited for that. And I'm really grateful for the friends that I'm making, the friends that I already have, those that I'm making, and I'm sure those that I'll make in the future. And I don't know. Get yourself to a place where there's fertile ground. So if there's not already something growing there, at least you know something will grow. Where I was before, pretty rocky territory, wasn't so fertile. Anyways, here's hoping that I was actually in frame that whole time, because last time I sat on the couch and talked, I was not. I think I did a better job this time. Let me know in the comment. Don't let me know in the I'll know already. If you're struggling with this, I hope that you find a path that works for you, that gets you moving, that gets you on the road to a happier, healthier you. I know that I am definitely on that road, and I'm so grateful that I'm in such a better place. I'm so grateful for... Oh man, it's been a hard road. It's the last 5 years of my life in particular. I mean, the last decade's been, challenging, but the last 5 years, wouldn't want to go back through it all. But I'm so glad that I cleared the hurdles along the way. So I'm going to leave you here. I hope that you have a wonderful Monday. I guess it's Monday for you, and that the beginning of the week is going great, and that you have a fantastic week ahead of you. And I will see you bright and early tomorrow morning for my Monday, which is going to be, oh boy, I got to get some stuff done. And but we all knew that anyways. That never changes. And I'll see you tomorrow morning for whatever that is.